Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where the temperature overlay has been disabled. We're here on the moon. We were of course here we hopped over quick to complete a contract, and the contract has been completed. If we go into our contracts here, we no longer need to plant a flag here. Now, we didn't make a ton of money from this, but we need to make some money to get our Ascent module up and on its way to Eve. So let's bring these guys home. Jamie and Sondon can use a little bit of experience anyway, so let's get out of here. We can retract our landing legs. And up we go. We can immediately go over to somewhere around 45 degrees, be working on getting ourselves some horizontal speed. Fantastic. And we're going to go until our apoapsis height is, I don't know, maybe like 15 kilometers, something along those lines. And then we'll just bring these guys back home via a pretty standard trajectory. We'll try to recover as much of this as we can to save some money. So that will be pretty good. We're about 5 kilometers in our apoapsis at this point. Make that 6, actually. So we're going to keep going for a little while here. Maybe 10. I don't know. We'll see what our time to apoapsis is at 10 kilometers. It's not going to be too long. We can definitely see that our time to apoapsis is beginning to increase more and more quickly. That's great. I think now that we're at 10 kilometers, let's go ahead and start burning horizontally, or mostly horizontally. No, I think just burning horizontally is fine. Our apoapsis height is still increasing after all. Our time to apoapsis, however, is currently not increasing. It will. It definitely will. But I just want to get some horizontal speed here so that we can get into orbit that much easier. You can see here our horizontal speed is going up while our vertical speed is coming down. That is, of course, because, well, we aren't approaching the apoapsis, but ooh, that's a nice shot of Kerbin rise. I like that a lot. That was really cool. I was not expecting that. Absolutely fantastic. Okay, I'm going to take this to like 20 kilometers at the apoapsis, I think, just because of the time to apoapsis difference. 18, 19, and 20. Good enough. Okay, let's shut down that engine, and at the apoapsis here, let's take a look at what pushing out here would actually do. I'm not sure this is the time that we want to break orbit. Actually, it's fine. This is good. Maybe we want to delay it a little bit. About here. Sure. 300 meters per second to get us there, and then we'll bring this down to, I don't know, like 50 kilometers, something along those lines. 325 meters per second. That's about a minute of burn time, so 29 and a half seconds is when we want to burn this at the T-, and we'll go ahead and warp forward. Excellent. This is, of course, going to be a pure prograde burn. We are going to continue to warp towards 29 and a half seconds, and we'll just lock to prograde. And we're going to burn this right about now. And off we go. Where is Kerbin right now? Okay, that's our destination. We're burning this direction because Kerbin is going to be over there. Well, kind of. This is the trajectory that we are aiming for, of course. And that will be completely fine. So we have about 200 more meters per second left in this burn. And that is just fine. It's not like we've massively overbuilt this or anything. We're going to have a good radial retrograde burn for our re-entry. And that's completely fine. 100 more meters per second to go on this. And let's just check to see what our periapsis is going to be. Sure, we'll continue to pull that on down. Somewhere around there. That's good enough. So we'll get ourselves a radial retrograde burn near re-entry, about here, we'll burn retrograde. And then we'll also burn a little bit radial, not anti-radial, just to keep our periapsis up at around 20 kilometers, I think is... Well, maybe we should target like 10. This is going to be a pretty easy re-entry, right? So let's just target somewhere around 10 kilometers. Like, we're not going to have any potential issues with this. So something along the lines of that. Should be fine. And we're still going to have like 700 meters per second in the tank here. Okay, sounds good to me. We'll go ahead and orient for that burn. Let's not go towards prograde. Thank you very much. We'll orient for that burn. And let's warp on towards Kerbal. Goodbye, Moon. Hello, Kerbal. So we are on our way into Kerbal here. We've got about 3 hours left in this time warp, and that is fantastic. It doesn't really matter too much when we start this burn, in reality. So I'm going to continue to warp forward. I'll use this timing, though. I think that's okay. So this is going to be like 1 minute and 22.5 seconds. Okay. So we'll warp towards that, and we will begin this burn here in a few seconds. Right about... now. And so it begins. Now, we never extended this antenna, but we also didn't need it. So that's fine. Our apoapsis height is dramatically decreasing with this burn. And I'm not going to call this a re-entry burn. This is kind of a pre-re-entry burn. Although this burn may still be happening when we hit Atmo. I'm not sure. Maybe I should call it a re-entry burn, but it's a radial retrograde burn, for sure. Just going to adjust the heading ever so slightly there, and all looks good. Let's go ahead and physics warp here. This is going to be a relatively lengthy burn, so let's speed that one right on up. About 700 more meters per second on this one. And yeah, you can completely aerobrake this, and it would have been fine, but we have the DV, may as well use it. And honestly, fuel is super cheap. Recovering the fuel wouldn't make us much at all. So we have about 300 more meters per second here, and we're going to hit the atmosphere very, very shortly. Going to physics warp here a little bit more. Ooh, that's very sensitive in physics warp. Let's stop the physics warp. And let's just burn it right about here. In fact, what's our periapsis? This is good enough. Let's just sit surface retrograde. We are going to be re-entering shortly. And we are just going to go ahead and warp towards our re-entry. Looks like this is going to be a nighttime re-entry. Didn't try to optimize for that one, in all honesty. We're going to want to do something like this. Perfect. And let's just burn off the remainder of this fuel, or maybe keep like, I don't know, 10 seconds of burn time left. So we'll just do something like this. Gonna physics warp as we are continuing to burn here. Wonderful. And we will hang out at about 10 seconds of burn time remaining, which is there. Perfect. So at this point, it's looking like this is going to be a land landing. Indeed. So we are going to extend our landing legs. And let's just see how much we can bleed off in terms of delta V here. I am going to physics warp as we continue to fall through the atmosphere here until we start to get into some potentially dangerous areas. Just make this go a wee bit quicker. This is potentially dangerous. I mean, I think the reason that this is so extreme right now is because our landing struts are deployed. Let's pull those back. Okay, no, it's actually because we have these tanks. Sure. We can see that our radar altitude is still 30 kilometers, so we should, in theory, be okay here. Our deceleration isn't as fast as I had hoped. I guess I'm used to Eve at this point. About 20 kilometers above the surface, and we are decelerating at a decent clip now. In fact, this is completely fine. SAS can go off as of now. And we don't really care about aero forces pulling us around. We are going to deploy our drogue chutes. I like how I never pulled the ladder back in. Okay, our drogue chutes will orient us, and we'll deploy our landing struts again, and we'll deploy our main chute. Excellent. And at this point, we will physics warp down towards the ground. And continue to decelerate. Gonna stop physics warping right about now, as our drogues are deploying. Fantastic. We can see that we're falling pretty much straight down, and that is perfect. We can also see from KER that our time to impact is apparently 12 seconds. It's not actually true because these are applying forces, so it's not the most accurate thing. Our main chute is now deploying and bringing our speed on down. Looks like we're going to settle around 13 meters per second or so. Let's go ahead and physics warp a little bit down towards the ground. Once we're about 100 meters up, then we will stop the physics warp. There we go. 13 meters per second? Sure. Let's slow it on down. And there we go. Not the best landing, but it works just fine. As in, not the best, I mean not the slowest. We've still got 7 seconds of burn here as well. Let's go ahead and recover this. We should be getting quite a lot of science, as well as a decent refund on this. This cost us like 91,000 to launch this mission. Let's see how much we get back. I'm expecting like 20-some thousand back. Something along those lines. Fingers crossed on that one. Okay, that's our science, and 10,000. Okay, good enough. But hey, 548 science is not bad. And also if we hop into, not this. Well, actually, we should definitely be on that. There we go. If we hop back in here, we can see that Sondon and Jamie both got a skill up. So that's great. Let's check to see if there are any other contracts here. Science data from surface of the moon. That would have been nice to have a little bit ago. We're going to grab it. Do we have anything on the moon that we can just transmit the science real quick? Let's see. I mean, there's the experiment control station. If it was Minmus, we absolutely could. Very, very easily. Let's just go ahead and hop over here, see if we can transmit anything. It'd be amazing if we could. Things are just kind of jumping all over. Can we transmit this? That's the Guab ED monitor there. This is a passive seismometer. I don't think that we have anything to transmit here. Oh, hello. Once again, nice Kerbin rise going on there. Or maybe a Kerbin set. I'm not actually sure which. So the real question is, are we going to get that science from the surface of the moon? Well, we might have to do another mission out there and maybe just leave something that can permanently transmit science for that purpose. We don't have anything like that on the moon right now. We have things orbiting the moon. That said, let's fly the Brazil Space Station core here. I have an idea. Now, I'm a little concerned about how much fuel we have on this station right now. And I don't think that's necessarily all that much. This is quite the orage module here. This is, of course, our mining module here. And how much do we have in there? Okay, that's not that much fuel. Do we have any scientific experiments on this? No. But we do have an engineer here. And Sanzor the tourist. In fact, we have quite a few Kerbals here. Let's go ahead and pop Halgar out. And Halgar, what I want you to do is... I want you to grab, like, just a thermometer. So let's let go. And we're going to head over this direction. Okay, over to here. And I want to get a little closer here. There we go. That's the Science Junior. This is not what I was hoping for. No, what I wanted was over here. Absolutely over here. We've developed a bit of a shimmy here. I can't say that I'm shocked by this development. Okay, let's go ahead and hop back. Ooh, good one, Halgar. Let's go ahead and hop back in here. Cannot board a full module. Okay. Let's grab over here. And board. Okay. And now we are going to attempt to get that shimmy under control. Now, we may want to strut some of this together at some point. Okay. I was hoping that that would get it under control. Let's just do that and turn SAS off. Okay. We'll just leave it like that for now. And then Sanzor, or not Sanzor, Halgar, you can get back out. And let go. Now that things are slightly more stable, I want to come over here. And that's the too hot thermometer there. So I want to go into, not this. I want to go into this. Ooh, that's creating a lot of lag right now. Exciting. Cannot detach it. No, I don't want the service bay. I want this. Okay. So let's make our way over this way. And we're just going to slowly move this on down. We'll place it like over here. Where did it go? Where did it go? Where did the thermometer go? No, seriously. I don't know. That is what I meant when we were constructing the moon base, or the Minmus base rather. That is what I meant by this is a really, really finicky system. Okay, let's turn that off for the time being. And I placed it like over here, but I have no idea where it went. It may have just floated off. I can only see Hyger here. Do we have a thermometer on here already? I'm going to be kind of upset if we do. We should, to be clear. We should have a thermometer on here. But we don't. Okay. Good to know. Well, we could see about getting another science part. It doesn't have to be the thermometer. Holger, why aren't you turning? I mean, I can steer this, but I'm wondering why Holgar isn't turning. That happens sometimes when we use the construction mode. I've noticed that. Let's go ahead and come around here. Like, she's turning this direction, right? But not vertically. So let's just put her back in here. And hop in. And then have her hop back out. That usually refreshes it. It does not appear to be. Okay. Well, we'll just have to work with this. So, we should grab the barometer. And I actually have an idea. We're going to store the parachute in here. And hopefully we can store the barometer in her inventory. Where are you? Yes. Okay, we can just store that in her inventory. Let's go. And then we are just going to place that over here. Okay. There we go. Can only be externally controlled by a scientist. That's fine. So we're going to head back in. And I want to double check before we go. We're going to need to close this back up. Okay, there we go. The fact that she won't turn is definitely irritating, but... Okay, let's make our way on in. There we go. Okay, now I want to check this. Yes, that's what we want. So we'll reset that. And then we are going to pin these fuel tanks open. Like so. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then let's check these tanks. Ah, this one's completely full. Excellent. So let's go ahead and move these on over. We'll time warp that, of course. And these tanks are all full. Perfect. So now we will decouple this. Let's see. We want to undock. There we go. And we can unpin these open. RCS on. And we'll just push away. Fantastic. RCS off. How much RCS do we have in this? Plenty. Sounds good. So, of course, we're going to need to land on the moon somewhere, and it kind of doesn't matter where. We'll land somewhere around here, perhaps. Here-ish. Maybe like here. SAS on, and we're going to head over towards that maneuver node. We are, of course, going to need to deploy our landing legs sooner rather than later, before I forget to. And let's go ahead and warp towards this. Fantastic. Goodbye, station. We're probably not going to be taking this back to the station immediately. So we're going to burn this relatively shortly. I just want to be on surface retrograde here. I don't actually care about this maneuver. And let's go ahead and burn. Goodbye, station. Fantastic. And down we're going. You can see here where we're going to impact. And this is maybe not the best place to land. We may want to leave it like there for right now, and then go ahead and warp to here. Excellent. Now that we've cleared this rougher area over here, we can start our burn again, but I'm going to actually wait until... Well, actually, no, I'm going to do it now. This looks good. This looks very good, in fact. So, with our barometer on here, we will be able to complete our mission, and that's fantastic. We are going to need to continue to burn for a little while here. But we're going to want to be kind of efficient here. Well, we're not really planning on bringing this back up necessarily, right? So it kind of doesn't matter, I think, how efficient we are. We can start the mining process, and if we need to bring it up, then we can. But I'm not necessarily planning on doing it. So this is currently a suicide burn countdown of 5 minutes, but also 55 seconds. That's what I mean by KER is a little bit on the broken side right now. This is showing an impact time of 2 minutes and 16 seconds, and we're going to go with the longer suicide burn time here, and we're going to start burning now. And hope that KER is in some way correct. But I kind of doubt it. KER definitely needs another update, I feel like. And I didn't check today. Maybe there is one. No, this suicide burn is quite wrong. I feel like this impact time is wrong. I don't know. Okay, let's try this now. Yeah, see, this is going down at less than 1 second per second. Or more than 1 second per second, rather. So that's not particularly helpful. Thanks, KER. Okay, let's kill our horizontal speed at this point and just let our vertical speed take over. We're going to ignore KER and let that just kind of stew. So we're just going to kill this horizontal speed as much as we can. I actually don't necessarily want to kill all of it right now. We'll leave it like that, and where's that going to put us? That's a good landing site. That's like in between these two craters. I like it. So I'm going to warp towards the surface a little bit here. Maybe once we hit around 10 kilometers. We'll see how that's feeling. Okay, something along the lines of that. KER is saying a suicide burn countdown in 20 seconds. I don't exactly trust it. Actually, that's feeling a little correct. I'm going to do a braking burn right now, though, just in case. Just to be a little on the safe side, KER has its issues right now. I don't necessarily trust it. Speaking of things I don't necessarily trust, the way these legs are set up. Didn't notice that previously somehow. Fantastic. Yeah, it's feeling like it's got the suicide burn countdown right now. I think that's correct. Or very close to it, anyway. Okay, we'll burn right about now. And we'll see how accurate it is. I mean, we're going to need to continue cutting the engines here. There's some issues with it, for sure. But overall, it's looking reasonably close. Yeah. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Now we're on final approach here. I'm going to ignore KER from here on out and do it entirely manually. Let's just go ahead and start a slow deceleration. Gonna change our heading ever so slightly here. We have picked up a little bit of horizontal speed. Let's just get that out of there. And we'll just hold here. 8 meters per second, 100 meters up, 7 meters per second. I feel like we're decelerating a little too quick. There we go. 5 meters per second. And a lovely touchdown. Very nice. Okay, so with this here, this of course didn't cost us anything to put here. We will go ahead and log our pressure data, and we're going to transmit that. Apparently we get science for it too. I'm actually surprised. We can't transmit because there aren't comms devices on this. Perfect. Oh boy. That is exciting. Well, we can start this mining anyway. We'll need to activate our radiators, of course. And we will start our mining. Excellent. Well, at least that's underway. It is past time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode we're going to continue attempting to make some money. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.